Today I thought I would take a small break from stealth camping and get some of the jobs done in the van that have been irritating me on my last probably 5 camps that I've been out on. And one of the main jobs is going to be relocating the toilet, because it has become a bit of a pain having to get it out every night. So my plan is I'm going to build a box to go here, and that's where the toilet's going to live. That way, pretty much every time I come out on a camp, I'm pretty much set up ready to go. I don't have to move things around and rejig things. It also gets the toilet away from my head when I sleep. Another job to do as well, if I'm going to be relocating the toilet to here, if I hang my clothes or anything on these hooks, they are going to get in the way. So my plan is, on the back of this sliding door, I am going to install some hooks, and I've found these. And the way it works is they just flip down and you can hang keys or anything you want on them like that. But the only thing I don't want to happen is for them to rattle around when I'm driving. That will become very annoying. They do have a little magnet in the top, which essentially means that should actually stop it from rattling around. And I might even put some up on the back doors as well. The more hooks you have in a camper van, the better, because it's surprising when you're living in it or when you're staying in it, you want to get things off the floor, especially if it's raining and you're coming in and out of the side door or through the front and your floor gets all wet. You don't want to then have to put your clothes on the floor of an evening, because yeah, it's just not pleasant, is it? I'm going to change my sunglasses because these are polarized, and which means I can't see my LCD screen on this camera. I can't with that one either. There we go, that's better. For this toilet storage unit, I am going to be building it out of plywood, and I was in two minds about this because you can actually buy them pre-made. There's loads of people on eBay that sell these toilet boxes that are designed for my particular porta potty that I've got in this van. You can get them for pretty much any porta potty that you might have. But I found it very, very difficult to find one that was actually made in plywood. The majority of them are made out of MDF. And not that there's anything wrong with MDF. Ideally, I don't want to have to paint this unit, and it just won't match anything. But if I do decide to paint it, it doesn't matter whether it's plywood or whether it's MDF anyway, but I'd just rather have the option of it being made out of plywood. So I thought to myself, Sean, you've got the tools, you might as well build your own. So that's what I'm going to do. So first things first, I need to get this all measured, because it's going to sit roughly about there. And at the moment it currently lives in that box under there, and I never liked that design. And the reason why I never liked it is just because it's ugly. I didn't build it very well. I built it quickly, and it prevents me from sort of using the sofa. Make sure these cushions don't fall out. It prevents me from using the sofa as like 2 single benches. I have to have it as an L shape just because of this box here. So that's going to be completely ripped out. I also will need to fit some more of this trim. At the moment, that trim runs along both sides of this bench, but in order for me to fit this in, I had to cut those trims off, so they'll need to be removed, and I'll need to put new length ones on. I mean, I could just patch it and add that bit back on, but there'll be a joint in it, it'll look terrible, and it will annoy me, so I'm just going to replace them. I am going to start off by making the base. So the first thing to do is just, well, to measure the thing, you know. So measuring is everything, and making it square is everything. That's a bit wobbly on there, isn't it? Whoop. Note to self, do not place your camera on top of a wobbly piece of wood. I have shown this before, but this is a little jig that my dad made me so that I can actually get straight cuts with a circular saw. I've used this so many times, and it's probably going to be one of these jigs that I'll keep forever because it's so simple, but it works perfectly every time. The problem with cutting on a surface that isn't flat. Look at that bow that I've got in this wood already. So that's just going to cause a problem for me to get that nice straight line along there. I mean, this is just one of the problems that you come across when you build camper vans outside. This little worktop that I've built is literally just made out of pallets, and it was never designed to be like a proper workbench. I just built it so that if I ever needed to cut something in a hurry, I could just place it on top of here rather than getting the workmate out every time that I just wanted to cut one little bit of wood. But it is good for cutting big sheets like I am now. Hopefully at some point in the future I will have a proper indoor space where everything's level and flat, where I can actually build camper vans without having all these problems. But in a way this is kind of good because it shows you that it's possible to build camper vans like the one I have, or the Transit that I've built in the past, or any of the other vans from outside, just using whatever tools and whatever resources you've got. Anyway, I digress. I think it's time we got this bit of wood cut. Fit. So to build the front of the toilet holder, is that what we're calling it? The toilet holder? I have made a template because what I want to do, and you see these on all of them, is out of one piece of plywood, or MDF as we've established already, there's a bottom part and a top part. And the top part lifts up as part of the lid. And the bottom part stays where it is, keeps it all sort of rigid. And then essentially this then slots into there and will fit perfectly. And in order for me to get a perfect cut, I am going to cut it out with a router. So this is my template. I'm going to clamp this to there, and then I'll use this and I'll follow it around with the router. So it's actually got really hot now. I'm like out here sweating. Now my dad did actually tell me to use a thinner bit of plywood for the template, and I know why now, because I haven't. I'm going to have to do this in 2 passes. Right. And I'm covered in sawdust. So I'm glad I did a practice piece because I messed up a few times, but I think I'm ready now. I've got a new template, I'm ready to go. So I now have a join that's only okay. Now this is a nice cut, but I am going to finish it off with a little chamfer edge. So I've got a different bit in there now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around the edge of that just to round it off a little bit. Again, never used one of these bits before in my entire life, so this should be interesting. So if you can see that, it's a nice little rounded edge on there. Lovely. So I just need to do the same on this side now, and that should look really nice. Now I'm going to take a short break from building this unit to talk to you about today's video sponsor, and that is Gentle Bands. Now if you're anything like me and you don't tend to wear a lot of jewellery, I literally have a wedding ring which is made out of silver. I have a Casio watch of some description. I have quite a few of these. But other than that, I don't tend to accessorize too much. And one of the things that I'm always worried about when I'm snorkeling, surfing, paddleboarding, or anything that involves me being in the sea is losing my wedding ring. And if I was going to lose my wedding ring, obviously, one, I'd be in a lot of trouble with my wife, and two, I would need a replacement for this. And that's where today's video sponsor comes in, Gentle Bands. For centuries, men's rings have had the same boring look. That plain, generic, chunky band has been passed down from father to son for generations. But why settle for a ring that doesn't represent who you are? And look at this, the Fordawn. This ring comprises of powerful natural energies from elk antlers. And don't worry, it is naturally shed antler as well, so it means that they're ethically sourced without harming any animals. The main part of the ring is actually made out of tungsten, which is pretty much the same as what this router bit is made out of. So you know it's strong and it's probably less likely to get all scratched up like a softer metal like silver or gold. And another part of this ring is that it's actually got recycled whiskey barrels. So they actually partner with distilleries to recycle authentic whiskey barrels and embedded them into this ring. I mean, I'll tell you what, out of the two rings, I thought this one would have been my least favorite of the two because I thought it might just be a little bit too fussy, but I actually really like it. Especially the wood part of it. It sort of represents what I'm sort of doing here, building camper vans out of wood. But if you want something a little bit more subtle, I'd say, then you could always go for this one, which is called the Rebel. And essentially this ring is just made out of titanium. So if you're thinking about getting some jewelry for yourself, or you've got a friend or a partner, or maybe you're getting married yourself, then if you check out Gentle Bands below, they're offering you a 25% discount on any order with the discount code lovesundays. Right, now back to the DIY. I was going to fit a set of these hinges, but the problem is when they fold back, they're in, I think I bought the wrong ones. And I put this spacer on there just because that's actually deeper than the plywood that I've got, so I might just have to stick some normal hinges on. Okay, ready? Okay, it works, but I'm going to need to put some stops on here because that's annoying. So it's probably worth me mentioning that this plywood cost me £36. The screws and brackets I already had to put this together, and the hinges were just some that I had left over from another project. And considering these toilet boxes range from anywhere from £50 to £150 to buy, this is definitely a cheaper option. I actually bought more plywood than I actually needed, so £36 to build this. I probably could have built it for half of that. It's very tight, but it fits. That's what she said. So let me just explain to you how this works, okay? So the reason why you've got this little cutout here is so that when you lift this up, okay, you can still open the flush like so. Toilet seat goes back like that. So the only thing that I don't like about it being here, I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I mean, it would be a lot stabler if I sort of cut this back, but I almost want to put a couple of feet on it, or maybe even a piece of plywood just to go under there, just to box it in a bit better. I think that would make it look a lot better. So I have made some legs for this just to stop it from rocking around. And then what I'm going to do, I've already scribed this, that's going to go in there like that, just to tidy it up. And I'll do one for the front as well. Okay, so that's that all piped in. Very nice. Nice scribes. And I've also realised I could do this with my cushions. 1, 2. Kind of fits perfectly there. So that's my seat now, if I want to look outside. See? I wish I could take a load off and just chill out now, but I've still got to fix the back. I can now move on to ripping this out. So like I mentioned earlier, this here will now need replacing. So luckily I've got some more, and all I need to do is cut that to the full length of that and then just glue it in, do one on each side, and then that's that part fixed. I was hoping that was all going to come off in a oneer then. I got it all off. Tell you what, this side was a lot easier. Probably less glue. And with this, all I want to do is put a little bit of glue just on this edge here, which will connect to the wood. I don't want to put anything that goes onto the floor, because, well, you've got to be careful with this stuff as well, because it can get everywhere if you're not careful. Ooh, like I've just done there. See, here's another lesson as well. If you're going to do any gluing like this, don't do it with your soft furnishings in. Luckily, with a bit of elbow grease, I managed to get it out. I've literally just taped these, but they're going to need a lot more pressure on them for it to actually stick properly. So I might have to wedge a piece of wood in there. Right, so while that glue goes off, I'm going to mount these. So I reckon I've got 4 of these little hooks in this set. I want 2 on the back door, so I ideally want 2 up here. I reckon about there. Or do I want them sort of more on this side? Bit fiddly, these things. I mean, this might just be me, but does anyone else, when it's a really hot day and you're working outside and you're sweating, your brain just doesn't function? I mean, I've been struggling to get my words out. I've been struggling just to get my head around things. Does that happen to anyone else, or is it just me? Cool. And will it hit the door when I open it? Nah, it's miles away. Does it work for hanging up like my backpack? It does. I'm gonna have to stick another mount on here to stop this moving. Okay, so that's 2 little hooks done on that side, on this side, but I've also fixed my door handle because, yeah, every time I show that on camera, everyone's like, your door handle's broken. And yeah, I know, but I just needed to get around to it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Just gotta wait for these bits to dry. The tools are there just to add some weight. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, this is my other van. And I'm actually raffling this right now, so there are loads of videos of me using this over the last couple of years. It's my pride and joy. It's a fully converted camper van, but you can actually enter the raffle to win this van for as little as £5. So I'll link that below if anyone's interested in winning my pride and joy. Another view of the van and somewhere else to sit. I've just hung my Crocs up there. I don't think I like that. I do have to be careful when opening this door though, because I have just noticed, because I've had the door open, that I heard like a scraping sound as I shut the door, and it was because these had rattled down and it had literally just scratched all the way down the van. It hasn't broke the paint, but I've just got to be careful with that. Something that I've learned from today's video, it's best not to be afraid of your tools. I've had that router now for a few months, but I've not really used it. And it's only because of what I've done in this video that I actually decided that I needed to use it, and I actually needed to familiarize myself with it as well. These tools are here to sort of make our jobs easier and to allow us to produce a more professional look on our carpentry stuff. So the best thing is just not to be afraid of it. I think that should be my lesson to myself. Anyway, hopefully you've liked this video. It's been a while since I've done some building. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed getting myself dirty. I mean, it's far too hot. I've been sweating the last couple of days getting this done. And I know it probably didn't seem like it on the video, but this did take me 2 days to build this box and put these hooks up and finish that bit of floor. But like I always say, you don't really know what you need in these vans until you actually start using them. So next week I am going to be heading out for another camping adventure. I'm going to use this setup as I've installed now, and we'll see how we get on with it. But I have had to sort of push it as far this way as I can, just so that when this door opens, it's locked at the minute, but when this door opens, it still allows me enough space to get through, because before this used to fold right back against this wall, and it's not doing that now. So I'd just like to say thank you to all of my followers, all of my subscribers, all of you for watching these videos, and also thank you to everybody that supports the channel through buying me a beer through the link in the description, and also through my memberships. Each and every one of you, you're all absolute legends. But other than that, I'll see you next week. Cheers! Now I'm going to take a short break from building this unit to talk to you about today's video sponsor, and that is Gentle Bands. Now if you're anything like me and you don't tend to wear a lot of jewellery, I literally have a wedding ring which is made out of silver. I have a Casio watch of some description. I have quite a few of these. But other than that, I don't tend to accessorize too much. And one of the things that I'm always worried about when I'm snorkeling, surfing, paddleboarding, or anything that involves me being in the sea is losing my wedding ring. And if I was going to lose my wedding ring, obviously one, I'd be in a lot of trouble with my wife, and two, I would need a replacement for this. And that's where today's video sponsor comes in, Gentle Bands. For centuries, men's rings have had the same boring look. That plain, generic, chunky band has been passed down from father to son for generations. But why settle for a ring that doesn't represent who you are? And look at this, the Fordawn. This ring comprises of powerful natural energies from elk antlers. And don't worry, it is naturally shed antler as well, so it means that they're ethically sourced without harming any animals. The main part of the ring is actually made out of tungsten, which is pretty much the same as what this router bit is made out of. So you know it's strong, and it's probably less likely to get all scratched up like a softer metal like silver or gold. And another part of this ring is that it's actually got recycled whiskey barrels. So they actually partner with distilleries to recycle authentic whiskey barrels and embedded them into this ring. I mean, I'll tell you what, out of the two rings, I thought this one would have been my least favorite of the two, because I thought it might just be a little bit too fussy, but I actually really like it. Especially the wood part of it. It sort of represents what I'm sort of doing here, building camper vans out of wood. But if you want something a little bit more subtle, I'd say, then you could always go for this one, which is called the Rebel. And essentially this ring is just made out of titanium. So if you're thinking about getting some jewelry for yourself, or you've got a friend or a partner, or maybe you're getting married yourself, then if you check out Gentle Bands below, they're offering you a 25% discount on any order with the discount code lovesundays. Right, now back to the DIY.